Futbol. This is one more, please. How is everybody doing today?
You can ask whatever you want.
I can ask whatever I want.
So what's your...
Can I get you to get a little closer to the mic?
Yes, you can.
Como así como cuando hablas ahí los sábados.
That's because that thing is like right here. I don't even have to move.
Right.
We don't have these. I wish we did.
Do you ever hear your own breath when you're like in the broadcast?
I don't think so.
No. I've never heard it. I was just wondering if you, I don't know. I guess I haven't paid attention either.
I don't go back and listen to myself.
You don't?
Why?
No.
That's the trauma. I don't either. I hate it.
So I'm just like, it's over. Hopefully I did a good job.
You do a good job. Like
You do a good job.
You're very good. I remember that one time they were asking, ¿tú qué piensas o tú qué crees? O se quita o se pone. ¿Tú para qué se quita? Mejor así, tranquilos. Gracias, Sonny, that I know. Calm, relajado.
Have you done it in English? The play-by-play? For Tu Dene?
No.
No, right?
But it's not Tudén. It's Apple.
It's right. It's Apple. I don't know. I thought about tu colega que trabaja.
Oh, he does it Tudén. But he does only Spanish.
Right. And they only do Spanish, so.
No, Tudén sometimes does English too now.
Okay.
In America.
Nice. And how is it working with him?
It's good.
Yeah. Have you learned a lot about like broadcasts and the whole nine?
I would say I know what terminology some stuff is. Before I was completely lost.
Right.
But they do the same meeting every single game, 3 hours before the game.
So break that down. So how does a day with you, how does that start? Like,
it doesn't even start the day of.
Right. It starts the week.
No. It starts Saturday, we do the game. I wake up Sunday morning and I already have an email talking about what's the next game.
That's amazing.
Amazing, or
you have producers because you have producers helping you. Imagine if you were to do that by yourself. Like, obviously you need to do your own research, but when you have producers kind of telling you, all right, this is what we kind of have looking forward to, I
guess it's easier, but they don't even give you like a mental break. It's like I wake up the next morning, doesn't matter. I leave pretty early sometimes from the airport back home to Austin. And I feel like 6 a.m. I'm at the airport and I'm like, first email.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, this is the MLS week 12. I am the producer. Who are you guys thinking that we should interview? Because we get to interview the coach and the player every Thursday.
That's amazing. Yeah.
So that's probably the most fun for me, since I enjoy like the soccer part and I get to see the coach. I mean, not physically, but I get to see his demeanor. Not all coaches. I mean, we've done like a ton of Kansas City games. Mm-hmm. So I get to see Peter Vermees kind of start okay and then kind of slide and then slide even more and get to see, okay, how is he handling the situation? And you can ask whatever question you want. Sometimes they're nice. Sometimes they don't want to answer the question. But at least you have the opportunity to listen and to kind of pick their brain.
Right. And how do you respond when they are tough with you?
Just like, for me, I think, I don't know. I grew up watching Mexican soccer, playing in Mexico. They ask you every question. So they should be used to it. Like job description, coach, get ready for hard questions. It's just part of, you want to be a coach, you got to deal with some of the stuff. You got to deal with players. You got to deal with attitudes. You got to deal with agents. You got to deal with the press. It's just part of it. So people that don't answer, I'm just like, okay, well, it's not like we're asking something that they don't already know deep down inside.
Right.
If the team is doing bad, it's not like, surprise, surprise. You can just look at the standings.
Right.
Like, there it is. So, yeah, of course, hard questions are going to come. And, of course, if you're winning, like, ask me any question. I'll answer all of it. Oh, you want a tactical question? Here it is. The team that's losing, like, they don't want to share who their lineup is. They don't want to share, well, how are things in the locker room? Are people injured? What happened to this player? Why'd you sub this player? Like, some of them don't want to give out answers.
Yeah. And to follow up that, if you were to be in front of Josh Wolf, what question would you ask him?
I mean, I've done some Austin games, so we get to ask him questions. What questions would I ask him?
I'm putting you kind of on the spot, and you don't have to. But I'm just curious, like, one, like, I mean, obviously, you know, a draw felt like a win, and that was kind of addressed this last press conference. I feel, you know, you coming from a different point of view as a soccer player, I'm just curious as to maybe something that...
I would probably ask him if he's considering making any major moves on his lineup. I mean, not in his lineup, in bringing somebody into the team and letting somebody go.
That'd be a good one.
Because I think there's a possibility. I think it's okay to say I messed up.
Right.
Like, I thought this player was going to be this, and he wasn't. And I'll be the first one to raise my hand and say, like, look, I made a mistake about it. And I think people would be like, okay. But if you just, not saying that he does this, but if you just, like, deny, there comes a point where, like, there's no more denying. Like, everybody's watching. The most experienced soccer player and the least experienced soccer person is seeing the same thing eventually. So has he got to that point? Are there players that he thinks, like, you know what, it's time for them to move on and I need to bring somebody else in? That's probably my main question.
That's a good one. That's a great question.
Yeah.
Do you have a question, Richie?
I have a lot of questions.
I'll toss it to you.
But no, it's good. It's good intro. Something different for sure. Welcome to Otra, por favor. And as you guys know, we love to talk about football, vida and cultura. Today, I'm honored to have two legends of Austin football in the studio.
Thank you.
Sonny Guadarrama and Michelle Sanchez.
That's right.
Man, it's you know, I'm just, you know, so glad to be here with you guys. And I know we, like, say, for example, as we go into talking about football and talking about, you know, Austin FC, we first want to highlight more of Sonny's life. Brief summary. He was part of episode 26, and that was October of 2021.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's a long time ago.
Pasó un rato. And from that moment to now, before that, can you just let them know, like, say, for example, a little bit of your past, and, you know, like, you're being from Austin and then playing in Campo and also playing in Mexico, the teams. Just a short, you know, 5 minute.
5 minutes.
You know.
30 seconds.
Can I do it in 5 minutes?
I'm just kidding.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's a lot of history.
Grew up in Austin. Went to Cedar Park High School. Then I decided, didn't have any opportunities to play professional soccer. I wanted to go play with my brother because I only got to play with him 1 year in high school. So I decided to go to Campbell University. Went to Campbell University. It's probably one of the best years of my life. Going and playing college soccer, hanging out with my brother, even though it was a small school. Had a great time. Left Campbell, went to sign, play for Santos Laguna. From Santos, I played at Morelia to Mérida, Mérida to Atlante, Atlante to Necaxa to Atlante, and Atlante to Dorados. I said, you know what? I want to come back to Austin. I miss my family. I want to be in Austin. Came back. I said, I'm done playing soccer. Then I was like, no, I'm not done playing soccer. Where's the closest team? That was SAFC. I got a tryout. I went and played with them. I got signed. I played for a year. And then during that year, Austin Bold said, hey, we're going to have a team. And I was like, this is perfect. I can play in my city that I never got to play in. Played for Austin Bold. While Austin Bold is ending,
They went through it.
They offered me this broadcast job at Austin FC. And I was like, I don't know anything about broadcasting. I never pictured myself broadcasting. I always thought myself I would be a coach for kids and try and help, which I was already doing. So then I got the Austin FC job in Spanish, and I was like, man, my Spanish was good. When I was in Mexico, I don't probably practice enough. Who knows if it's good enough? And stayed at Austin FC for 2 years, and then somehow I got an interview for Apple, and they were like, you got the job? I was like, I got the job. They're like, you got the job? I was like, I don't know who was trying out, but I guess I got the job.
It wasn't me, so you're welcome. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I don't know, but somehow I got the job.
Yeah,
and during all that time, I thought I should open a school where kids can go to school and play soccer every day. So since the last podcast, I probably have like 150 more gray hairs from the different experiences, I would say, that are coming up in my life. But at the end of the day, I always tell myself I can never complain about what I do because I love what I do. And most people would give an arm and a leg to do what I do, and I get to call it work, and I get to get paid for it, and it doesn't seem like work to me. So there's always some negatives, but at the end of the day, I'm like, you're in a good spot.
Indeed, you are in a good spot. And a little bit about the academies is there were, you founded both the academies is Roots Fútbol and then SGA Academy. What's like the mission and the vision behind both of those organizations?
I'll give you another quick summary. Roots was meant to be kind of what I think is wrong in America, which is they don't focus at the youngest ages soccer. Mm-hmm. So my mission was, how can I help the youngest generation get quality training at an affordable price? So that was what it was. And they would train 4 days a week. And it started off being $100 a month, which is cheap.
That's cheap.
Yeah.
And all of our coaches were overly qualified for teaching the kids that were there. But we enjoy it. We love teaching them. We love that they start to love the game of soccer. The school really is kind of goes against the current of what soccer looks like here in the U.S. It goes against the norm, I would say, of what we see here in America, and I don't think we're going to get any better unless people do radical change. And at least I will die trying doing a radical change that I think is necessary than to just kind of give up. So if you don't train, I'm talking about the school's more of like kids that aspire and dream of playing professional soccer. Mm-hmm. If you don't train enough, you don't have a chance. If you don't have coaches that played professional soccer or know a lot about soccer, you also kind of don't have a chance. Mm-hmm. Because I tell people, if I want to build a computer, why would I go to somebody who's never built a computer? They don't know. They don't know what it's like. They don't know the pieces. They don't know the parts, the intricacies of building it, the tools you would need. So we have players, or we have coaches that played professional soccer. They know the grind, the effort, the mental. You're going to wake up. You're not going to want to train. You're going to have to train. Your teammates are not your teammates. They're there, but you're fighting against your own teammates to get playing time. Like there's just a lot of things that you have to get prepared for to be able to want to step on a professional field. And I think most other countries, if not all of them, have kind of this school and soccer together where kids aren't getting home at 10 o'clock at night, having to eat dinner, having to do homework, and then wake up at 6:30 in the morning the next day. Like that schedule doesn't really work. Mm-hmm. So most other countries will go to school and train right after, and then they can be kids and have a normal life. Kids that want to be successful here don't have a normal life because every day they're training while their friends are kind of just being kids. So there's a lot of issues, I think, and at least I will try to do what I think is best for the kids here in Austin.
That's good.
What are the ages? And is it just boys or is it boys and girls?
No, it's boys and girls. We have kinder through 10th grade. So the younger they are, the easier it is. Obviously, the older you are, the harder it is.
Right.
I've never seen like, I've heard Sonny, on TV when you're doing the color, the commentator part, and then like just hanging out every once in a while. But as a coach, I know how is Sonny as a coach, especially towards kids, that you're trying to ingrain something that it's like to you, it's actually something that like it means a lot because you lived through being a professional soccer player.
I would say passionate, strive for perfection, hold them to the highest standard, funny, mean at times, but with love at the end. So I think that they know, like, I'm joking, funny, but I think I get my kids to give me 100%.
That's good.
Which is hard. That every session they're giving me 100% and 100% and 100%. And then 2 months, 3 months down the road, they start to look different. Their attitudes start to change. I don't know, a winning mindset. So hopefully I'm able to share kind of what I think my mentality is onto them, and they can carry it. But definitely hold them to a high standard.
That's awesome. I think that's really wonderful what you're doing and how you're doing it. Being a man of color, you're Hispanic. When I was little and I was talking to someone earlier, I was telling him how my involvement in soccer happened, and we were so poor when we were young. But my dad, he loves soccer, is from Mexico, trained with America, but he came here to have a better life, right? And so he would put us in like a club team, but he would register as a volunteer, so they would waive the fees because we couldn't afford anything, and they knew that we were low income family, and that was the only way me and my brothers could play. And having like places like you, that there's a little bit more and more of that now here in Austin, but back in the day, like there was really nothing. That's why I never pursued a professional career, because women in soccer was very rare. You had to leave, and then, men as well. I mean, how many times did you try to play professionally apart from, Bold here to represent, your city? I'm sure you had those same dreams with Austin FC, but it just never happened. And I'm sure that's like a story in itself too. And I don't know if you want to get into that, but I just, I see your passion, and I see that you're like, this is what I'm going to leave my mark, even if it's not just on a, you don't have to wear my name, right? Like I'm going to leave a bigger mark because this could change your life. And even if it's not professionally, you take those skills and lessons and you apply them to normal workday, because we all face adversity in life.
It's true. Not everyone's going to make it. That would be my dream, that every single one of my kids would make it. But the numbers are not in our favor. But I agree. I think soccer, sports in general, probably, I don't know enough about the other sports, but soccer for sure will develop a character and a willingness to fight for what you want and to be a winner. And I don't think there's a lot of winners out there. I think there's a lot of people that are just okay being okay. And hopefully my kids won't be like that, and they'll be ready to fight for what they want in life. And it can be anything, because there's no way I should have been a professional soccer player coming from where I came from. And it was just because of the fight that I had and the dream that I wanted to do it, and wasn't going to let anybody tell me no. So hopefully my kids will take that to becoming an astronaut, a doctor, whatever it is that they want to be, that they would be the best at it, and hopefully just be happy.
Yeah.
That's good.
Are you content with not representing Austin FC on the field?
It hurt a little bit, but I thought at least I could help in some way on the field, but it didn't happen. So just it's part of professional sports. Not everything can be the way I want. And I understood that early in my career. You just kind of roll with the punches. So one door closed of playing, and I thought, okay, well, this broadcast job seems like a smart decision, because I don't need my legs. I don't need anything. I can just talk about soccer. So this seems like a career that is going to have much more longevity than playing. Right. So if I'm going to have to choose one, then it makes sense to start doing broadcast.
Yeah. No, yeah, you did a great job. I mean, I miss you guys, listening to all of you four, Adrian, Michael, you, and Victor. That one. I'm so bad with names.
Like Victor Araiza. Then is that
Roger?
Roger. Why do I have a V? I had a V in my head. I don't know.
So anyways, I didn't know this one. Like, so you tried for Austin FC?
No, I didn't try.
No.
I don't.
No te llamó el Wolf.
There's no tryouts.
Chavato.
Right. I mean, they can use you now. Can you come out of retirement?
Un medio acá, un 8 a la de Dani
5
Pereira.
minutes.
Hey, that's all we need sometimes.
Sometimes that's
just a little fire, just a little fuel to ignite.
No, I mean, I was bummed that I didn't see you. I mean, I was like, Bold sleeping, but like you said, broadcast opportunity. You could further your career in that, and you could do it in Spanish, you could do it in English. Hopefully, one day, you do it in English. But I mean, you're having a lot of success in Spanish.
I hope.
Yeah.
No, you're doing it's great. And from the experience of playing professional soccer to talking on the mic, you're analyzing the game. You think of it differently compared to someone like me that I've never played soccer, like professional soccer. I mean, I attempted to play soccer in the field. I'm not the best at it, but I'll give you a fight. That's another story. How was that, translating, your skills in the field into the microphone, into the audience? Because even though it seems like you're not talking to anybody, but you're literally just, preaching to the choir of thousands of people out there that you don't even know who they are, but they know you.
Right.
Maybe they know me. I think there's a story. I think first you can't be scared. A lot of people are just scared to do things. And when I got to Mexico, I didn't speak very good Spanish. And there's just a lot more media outlets over there. There's a lot more questions. And I remember standing in front of a whole bunch of cameras and not even being able to speak Spanish very well and having to try to explain myself in Spanish. So if I could do that, then I feel like I can do anything in front of a mic. And then I think just coaching helps. Coaching kids, because it's literally what I'm doing on the mic is just coaching the people that are watching. Mm-hmm. I'm saying things that I'm seeing happening in the game, except I'm not coaching to win. I'm just coaching on I think these people are making a mistake here. I think these people over here are doing a great job at this, this, and this. And then you get to see, most stadiums give you a great viewpoint. So it's hard sometimes. When we were at Austin FC last year, we wouldn't travel. So it's hard to call the game when you can't see the whole picture. Mm-hmm. You're only looking at what the people are looking at. So you don't really know what's going on. You're kind of trying your best to figure it out. But when you're at the stadium and you're at the top and you can see everything, you can see the formation, you can see this formation, you can see how they're matching up, you can see where the holes are. It makes it a lot easier to be able to tell this story of what's happening in the game and why it's happening and who's doing a better job and who's not doing a better job. So it helps to be there and to be able to see all that and have that viewpoint of all the screens in front and then just being able to look down at the field.
And then also I've heard, say, for example, usually I can be critical and we've been pretty critical to here, en Rigoni and Redes. But then, as a player, you somehow understand sometimes why a player's not doing good, or a player's, he's not going through a good phase. And como que entiendes más y sabes que, okay, este güey sí la está pasando mal, necesita confianza, necesita un empujón anémico.
I try and tell the truth, but not throw somebody under the bus.
That's good.
Because I was that person probably struggling on the field too at some point, and who knows if they were throwing me under the bus or not, or they had compassion towards me.
Ay, el perro, se cayó Sonny.
No, I've had some times where people probably spoke really bad, but again, it's just part of soccer. So it wouldn't offend me, it wouldn't hurt me. I would just move on from it. But I don't want to talk overly, I don't know, just not, I would probably just try and be as respectful as possible, but saying the truth.
Because it is respectful. And I think the reason why I'm emphasizing a little more on this is because when it's games now, you really don't see it. You see more of what the person is thinking instead of what they're analyzing.
Are you talking about Apple TV in comparison to the other broadcasts?
Yeah, just saying, TV Azteca, in Televisa también. I don't really listen to the English ones here, so I wouldn't know which ones, you know, could do right or wrong. But it's just like the ones that I've seen here, some like the ones that I've heard. It just sometimes it turns into like, you know, it'll be just better if you focus on giving me information of the game, the analysis of the game itself, instead of just este güey le está cagando. And but the reason, and I want to highlight, like say, in going back to how you do your work, it's enjoyable because you're helping, I mean, the audience, someone like me that I'm very opinionated at times, como que entender más y tener más respeto. And it, like, I've listened to some of the games you've done in Spanish when we haven't won, and it's like, it's going to be okay at the end of the day.
Well, it's very, I would say it's very not biased. I mean, you say what you say, like, you know, this isn't working out. You know, these two, I don't know, this forward didn't have a great night tonight. But you kind of leave it like that. You don't go in like other
overly.
Yeah.
Overly.
They're like, oh, why did they sign him? I think that's a big, you know, you don't give your opinion. And I think as journalists, there's a difference. I mean, if you're giving color and you are analyzing and you're supposed to give your commentary, I think, yeah, that's the type of journalism. But I think in your, at least your specific position, I mean, you're there to analyze the game.
I think there's people that, I mean, I just don't think it's not that hard. Everybody knows that this guy is not playing well.
Right.
Again, I can put 10 people and have 2 guys and have the 10 people tell me who's a better soccer player, this one or this one. And most of them would get it right. This one's way better than that one. Right. So it's not too hard. Mm-hmm. So I don't think my job is to like say something that everybody already knows. It's what can I say that they probably aren't understanding? Like why are they getting scored on? Or why is this team having much more success than the other team? Like what are they doing beyond just the guy that's missing the shots every single time? There's much more than just the guy at the end missing. What is happening before that's leading up to this guy missing? Is he not making good runs? Are the passes not good? Are they giving him services that he's 5'8" and they keep crossing the ball in, and the guys that are playing center back are 6'2"? Well, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So what?
Correct.
Not just state the obvious, but what is the actual problem and where is it coming from and what could they possibly do to change it? That's kind of hopefully what I'm able to do.
And you're doing a very good job at it, by the way.
Only because y'all are here.
No. Like, I've said it even me diste un 100 hace rato, con eso estamos.
Necesitas a gente, aquí estamos.
No, but I've talked to even friends that I have that listen to like the Spanish ones, like, man, Sonny y su compa se la saben, Roger. Like they bring like in the connection between the los hispanos y la gente que quiere conectarse con el equipo. Ahí se sienten que si alguien sabe de fútbol y está hablando de fútbol en el micrófono.
Sí.
Como nos gusta.
When's your next Austin FC broadcast? Because I know you've done one, you said, but yeah, you have. I've noticed that you've done a lot of.
We've done, I think,
Miami and like
3
Kansas.
games. Austin FC, 2 or 3.
Mm-hmm.
My next one is going to be June 3rd.
Okay.
So we don't get all of our games. They only give us like 6 games at a time.
Okay.
So we only know that's the last game that I know that I have on my schedule. And then probably like in 2 weeks, they'll tell me these are the next games that you have. But going to Montreal this weekend.
Fun.
Never been to Montreal, so hopefully.
Ya sacaste el green card y todo, está listo.
I think I can go in with my American passport. I don't need my green card.
Even better.
Just kidding.
Then we go to DC twice in a row. And then we go to Kansas, and then we come back to Austin.
Okay. And when you go on these trips, how's after you're done with the broadcast? I'm sure all morning you're there preparing, whatever. But what do you do once you're done?
Go back to the hotel because I'm probably leaving like early. We don't get back. All the games are at the same time.
Right. It's so
They're
dumb,
always at
this
7:30.
formation, the new schedule. It's so dumb, in my opinion. I think all games are happening around the same time. And it's hard to even listen. Like I said, it's hard to even listen to your specific broadcast because I'm watching FC, right?
I think they do it just because they make you they want you to
pick and choose.
Well, they want you to get the subscription. So if all the games are at the same time, then you have to get it because no te puedes acomodar how you want it to. All the games
pero
at the same
también
time.
quiero ver a Cruz Azul jugar. So it's like, oh, once Austin FC's done.
¿Quién quiere ver ese equipo jugar?
You know, no, me. But I don't know. I think they should, but that's just my opinion. They should go back to Monday, Wednesday, or whatever. I don't know. Just in a different schedule. I just don't like that it's all Saturdays. But
it's like the NFL.
But NFL
I know.
Is NFL. Right? So. I mean, we're still growing the sport here. I just think it was like it backfired kind of with that form. I mean, obviously the Apple deal is a great deal, but, you know,
I'm sure they'll figure it out.
Is your tía gonna buy, you know, the subscription? Mine's aren't. I mean, they can barely, these times, no hombre. Apenas se puede para un taco. Los huevos.
Estamos en tiempo de las vacas flacas.
Yeah. So you just go back home or go to your hotel and then fly back. And
I usually, I get there the night before or the day before. So the day before I will go out if I don't know the city.
Explore.
And go out and say, yeah, like I've never been to Kansas. I've never been to wherever. I've never been to Philadelphia where we've gone, or I've never been to Montreal. So I can go and hang out. Even the day of, I still will do something probably in the morning because just sitting in a hotel.
It's boring.
Just brings back memories of playing soccer where you just can't do anything. You're just like in jail at a hotel waiting for the game to start. But then after the game, most of the flights are pretty early the next day. So it's like you just want to get back to the hotel so you can sleep a couple hours before you're off.
That's cool. Are you really close to your colega?
Yeah. I mean, I met him the very first game.
¿Cuál colega?
Raúl. Is that his name?
Yeah. Raúl Guzmán.
Yeah. I was like, am I botching it again?
No, you're right this time.
Right. Because he's your...
Yeah, we follow. We go to the same games.
The same game. So that's like his buddy, basically.
It's just, I mean, since I don't have any experience doing this, I only had Roger before and 2 years of doing Austin FC. He's been doing this for like 20 years.
Yeah.
So
Viene de Mexico.
He's in Mexico doing World Cups and games and Champions League and doing all this stuff. So for me, it's just like, okay, this is the second person I work with. Hopefully I'm doing a good job. But yeah, it just takes time. Just like being on a soccer team, having chemistry.
Right.
When is the right time to come in? When do I know he's going to say? How does he like the A block, which is the stuff that happens before the game starts, and we're going to give out the lineup, and does he give out all the names, or do I talk about it? So I think we've got it down now.
Okay. Getting that flow. Yeah.
Getting the flow down. It's hard. If you get brand new teams, you got to like restudy everything, figure out who's hurt, who's going to play, who's in the lineup. At Austin FC, it became a point where I didn't have to study because I knew every player. I knew exactly where they played. I knew where they moved. I could tell if they didn't have names on the back of the jersey, it didn't matter because I knew exactly how they ran, everything about the team. Here, it's like, and then there's names.
That's something you can't pronounce.
Exactly. The Canadian teams have French people, and just how it says it. It's like, do you say it like this? And then the French people are like, no. This is how you say it. I'm like, I can't even pronounce that. So there I am trying to write it how they are saying it, even though it's not written. Exactly.
Right.
So exactly. I do that. How would I say this with my letters?
Oh my God. I would be dreaming my play-by-play the day before.
Play-by-play's a lot harder.
Yeah.
Because you have to get the names down, the numbers, the formation. Mine's a little bit easier because I can talk about what's happening in the game.
So that's el color.
So mine's a lot easier.
Sí,
as long as I have the names down, pretty much,
you're good.
I should be good.
Right. And then you know what you're saying.
The soccer stuff is easier.
You can't go by con de que opina el número 6, se la pasa el número 13, el número 13 metió gol.
I've done that before when I can't pronounce a name. I'm like,
you see, you have to roll with the punches.
As quickly as you can, get it out. Because if I'm just there, I'm going to stutter or something. I don't know. People will be like, what is this guy doing or saying? Just act natural.
Have you ever just screamed like, like an exciting moment? I feel like I would do that a lot.
I don't think I've screamed. Maybe coughed. into the mic on accident and didn't push the cough button.
Se le atoró el cilantro.
Sonny. That's funny. That's hilarious. You're like,
sorry.
So yeah.
¿Estás llorando? No.
That's
just
cool.
Coughing.
That's
or
awesome.
Freezing.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's freezing.
In there.
Yeah.
Because some stadiums are not as nice as Austin FC. So Austin FC has like the glass and you can open it, you can close it. It's got heating, it's got AC. Some of them are just like a metal window that you have to open if you want to see. And some of the cities are freezing where you have to keep it open and you're like shivering while you're calling the game. You're like, just trying not to, your teeth not to chatter in the mic.
Right.
You okay, Sonny? Sí.
Like gloves and jacket.
I'd be scared si me saliera una como, sí, cabrón, no, sí, güey. Like, I'd be like, oh no, that'd be bad. Sí, compa.
Sí, compa.
Sí, compa's okay.
Yeah.
Do you have the producer talking in the ear?
That's another hard thing, is that some of them will, there's two of them that I don't like. Two things. One is that they don't tell you when it's about to be time, or they don't tell you anything.
They don't give you a 5-minute
countdown.
Yeah.
They'll tell you like in 30 seconds you're talking, and then the next one will be 3 seconds, like 3 seconds, because you can't tell. You're just talking and talking, and then or there's ones that will count down in your ear, so you're listening to what they're saying while you're trying to talk, and he's counting down literally from 30. He's like 30, 29, 28. I'm like, bro, I can't focus if you're talking into my ear. Exactly. Give me 10, give me 5, 3, 2, 1, and that's it. And then there's the guy that's just constantly talking in your ear. There's guys that give their opinion about the game. No. I'm like, thank you, sir. I appreciate it, but you're distracting what I'm trying to say. I guess for the other people, they're used to like having just
commentary,
people talking in your ear while you're trying to say something at the same time.
That's when he's like,
I don't do that.
No.
Well, I don't say no. That stuff doesn't come out. Or like she'll be talking, and for whatever reason, the mic, like I can't hear what they're saying.
Yeah.
So I can't tell when they've stopped talking, so I can start talking. I literally have to look over to see when his mouth shuts to then start talking, because some cable got loose, and then you just gotta wing it. Or what they're telling us in our ear isn't matching what's on the screen because they've messed up somewhere.
Oh, no.
And you just have to go with it. So I don't know. One time we're giving the lineups, we're on air, and then none of the lineups popped up. And here we are trying to say something, whatever we can to fill up the time, because nothing's on our screen.
Right. You talk about the weather, how the weather could be really great. Right?
So how you been?
Right. Like, the stadium hopefully packs, 20,000 seats. You just have to kind of.
¿Está frío, no?
Sí, pues
whatever. These tacos were good that we ate today.
Sí. La gente muy amable. What's been your favorite city thus far?
Besides Austin.
I mean, I guess you've only been to.
Austin is my favorite city. I've only been to Austin, Dallas, Houston, which whatever. Kansas City, and Philadelphia. So
I think St. Louis would be a good one.
St. Louis would be fun.
I think that would be fun.
New York, I think, would be fun. Even though I've seen the booth that they call the game, and it's like
very
a baseball
small
booth. You don't get like the same view as soccer stadiums. You're like looking this way, which
an angle
doesn't help for the broadcast. But calling a game in New York City would be fun. Miami would be fun. I'm looking forward to DC. I've never been to DC in my life before, so
that's awesome. Do you want your kids to play soccer professionally?
Or do you want kids in general?
I guess
my kids? I said my kids, but I don't have physical kids.
No, but like biological kids.
Would I want my biological kids if I had kids? Yeah,
because you said prison and you said like hotel rooms, and I'm just curious to know if you would want, it seems like that's still, I don't want to say trauma, but a negative maybe of the whole experience, right?
No, I would want them to play professional soccer.
Yeah. Hey.
There's not a better job.
You're right.
That's true.
Every job has to have negatives.
Right.
It's just the way you look at it. Like there has to be, I have to rest in a hotel room. I get to sleep all day long. I get to play video games all day long. I get to eat great food. Like,
I don't get the video games I see soccer guys always like on Twitch. And I mean, you see Chicharito, you know, I would be like, y'all don't read a book. You know, it's not bad, pero los veo como siempre en el, you know, popping online. I'm just
soccer
like, wow.
people are just, their brains are going and going and going. Yeah. Reading a book is
like, you're not normal.
Calm.
Regular people.
They're not regular people.
No,
they just want to go.
Yeah.
So their brain works.
That's cool though. I wish my brain worked like that. I guess I'm jealous.
But I would want them to play professional soccer.
Do you want kids?
I want kids.
Yeah.
And they would play professional soccer.
5? Like a whole soccer team? 11?
No, that's too many. I think I'd just be happy with 1.
1?
Or 2.
2. I think 2 would be a sweet spot.
I have a dog, so I'm good.
Yeah. That's true. I do too. But we'll see. I have
a dog too. So we're all in the same boat.
Yeah.
and this day and age, I don't know if that's going to happen for either of us. It's tough out here.
I know, right? Now let's go into saying thank you, Half Squad, for the beers. Appreciate you guys.
They're a sponsor.
That's our sponsor, Lortanate, the best one out there. And I want to go into Austin FC. Everybody knows we tied. But what I want to ask is, from what you've seen, or did you watch the game?
I didn't see the game because it was at the same time as the game that I was calling. I did see the highlights. Mm-hmm. If that helps any.
No, it helps. So it was, I would say, se ganó más con ímpetu. Like, it was more of impetuous intentions of, you know, like wanting to win rather than just like playing good football. Sometimes I feel like that's what you need. What do you think in regards to that? Because I'm pretty sure when you played, you had games que you can play the best, pero no metías gol. Y luego que jugabas pinche y metías 3 goles. O empatabas para no terminar perdiendo el partido.
Professional sports is about winning. Everything else doesn't matter. You could tell me you played great and all these stats, but at the end of the day, if the team's not winning, that's what you're there for. You're getting paid to win. As a kid, it's development. It's about getting better. There's more leniency. There's room for improvement. There's things that you can take away. Mm-hmm. But in professional sports, if you're not winning, you don't have a job. So statistics, we have a statistics at Apple. It's projected goals. I'm like, what does this even mean to me? Like,
exactly.
Projected goals doesn't mean anything. You either scored or you didn't score. Possession doesn't mean anything to me. I want to ask my producer to look up the stat, but all the games that we've called, the teams that have more possession are not winning the game. Mm-mm. Because it doesn't matter at the end of it. Like, where am I keeping possession? Am I on my own half? Am I in their half? Like, where is the possession being taken place? You could have 90% possession, and you could lose 3-0. Like, that doesn't mean anything. So, to me, professional sports, it's not Austin FC. It's not my opinion. It's the Lakers. It's the Dodgers. It's Real Madrid. If people aren't winning, people are getting fired. So that's just the nature of professional sports.
That's, you're hitting the spot that I agree with. Not because I want to agree with you in everything, but the amount of statistics they bring to the table every weekend. Projected goals, who passed it in the minute 35, and then this happened in the minute 45, 20 games ago. But you don't focus on you have to win. Las formas son obvio, pero at the end of the day, it's like you have to win. The whole power rankings and everything, like, it's just a distraction to winning the games, I feel like, at times here in the MLS.
It is. There's teams that win and they play ugly, but they win. Mm-hmm. So at the end of the day, you can say whatever you want to say, but in the standings, like, they're there and you're here. Like, okay, well, we play ugly, but we win every game, so I don't really care what you say. So there's not a way to win. It's just, can you win? Some people win with amazing soccer. They play amazing soccer and they win. Those teams are not here. those teams are in Europe playing, and very few of those teams in Europe are winning like that. A lot of teams play ugly, and they still play in Europe, and that's just part of soccer. There's not one way, and there doesn't have to be a beautiful way. It's just about winning. You would hope, I think your desire as a coach, can I play good soccer is what people would say, and win. But sometimes if you're not winning, you got to revert to ugly soccer, and you got to win, because if you don't, then you don't have a job. So I take, not pride. I appreciate coaches that figure a way out to win, because it's an art on how to win. And there's an art to win ugly. There's an art to win nice. There's an art to win off free kicks, and they win. So I appreciate coaches that can come up with a game plan for each game to win the game.
Like Miguel Herrera. Oh my God. He won, but ugly sometimes. Yeah. Pero se la ingeniera, like he just like figured it out. It was like game by game. I mean, Tuca Ferretti too. We almost lost that 3-0 lead, but because Santos was coming back in the last 86 minute, and they scored 2 goals, and I'm like, oh my God, this was about to lose this, and we're about to lose. But it was about them almost winning. But yeah, I mean, you're 100% right.
He played ugly at Tigres. Yeah. And he had the best players in all of Mexico, and they still played ugly, was what people would say, but they kept winning. Yeah. So, like, what are the people not going to celebrate when they win?
Right.
Nelson Esfin wins playing ugly. I don't. It doesn't matter.
Exactly. He's going to be happy. Yeah. Everybody's happy when there's winning.
What I call them, pinches pero seguros.
Yeah, I think that's where the newer fans, especially more specifically here in the city, because Austin, either soccer or you're new and you're getting into soccer and you're like, oh, okay.
And that's fine.
And that's fine, but yeah. I just feel like that's how you should kind of view it, like in a sense, like, and not just, and like you said, not just soccer, but like NBA, football. Like, I mean, you see the Super Bowls, and sometimes they're ugly and they're so boring. But el que gana, gana.
And everybody's cheering. They're out there celebrating the next day, and the bus or whatever, and the whole city's out there.
Right. And you're like, wow, I can't believe they actually won the Super Bowl.
People won't remember how you won. They'll just remember you won.
Yeah, that's good.
Not Josh Wolf. Please pay attention to these words that are coming out. No,
but he's not coming out. He doesn't want that.
No, just in general. No, but that's the one thing. Like it kind of bothers me from hearing people talk. I mean, they're all learning también, but it's just all these statistics. Some are pretty. Like the heat or the percentage of where can a player play better in which side. Pero es de que le ponen proyecciones para el promedio. Es como que, güey, es fútbol. 1-0-2-1 es lo único que importa. And it's just so distracting at times. And
it lies too. You can make statistics lie in your favor. That's what the kind of these interviews that we get to have with these coaches, and they'll ask them, well, statistically, and one of the coaches said, like, who is the guy doing these statistics? Because sometimes they don't know about soccer. Like, yeah, you could have 50 shots, but if none of the 50 shots went on target, who cares if you had 50 shots? And now there's like, how many, I don't know. I don't even know what the statistics called, but like penetrating passes or something like that. How many times, like, how do they know? And who's the guy saying, like, it was an ugly pass, and they'll count that as one of the passes, and it's just a statistic that doesn't help. For example, Sporting Kansas City is one of the teams that has the ball the most on the opponent's half, but they're only like 2 yards in front of midfield, having possession there.
Right.
They don't have the ball like in dangerous spots.
Right.
That doesn't mean anything. They're holding mid, because I've done so many games. The German guy, Tommy, he has the most shots out of anybody in the whole league, and he hasn't scored a single goal. So what does that mean to me that he's shot 1,000 times? Okay, well, he's shot 1,000 times, but no goals.
No goals.
So you can use statistics to do and kind of try and portray something that maybe is not even there.
I do remember, I think it was a game against Dynamo, one of the staff guys from Austin FC. It was the first season, and he was just going up and down with the iPad, like looking at it. I'm like, what are you looking at? Like, bro, like what is something that, they're trying to figure out, like, the password or what? Pero
I had never known so many stats in my life. I was like, I didn't even know,
like,
I was like, wow.
Like soccer should have all of those stats, like,
I think that's, it's NFL. I mean, I think you have those, but I mean, I think it's just because we're here in America and that translates to other sports, and they think it should be viewed like that, but it really shouldn't be viewed like that. But I mean, teach their own.
Exactly. I don't know what the right answer is.
Yeah,
they're there. You can use them for whatever you want to use them for.
Did they ever tell you, hey, you know what, use this statistics when you're working the games, or just?
Yeah, they'll tell us the ones that they most commonly use now are where teams are attacking the most. So it's the graph that shows the half field, and it has 4 arrows, and it has on the right side, on the left side, and 2 in the middle, and the arrow will go up further if they're attacking more on that side versus the other side, which, I mean, it just shows most teams will attack more on the outsides than the inside.
Right.
Very rarely will a team have an arrow in the middle and the arrows on the outside not be up. So it's something that's like, duh.
Al menos que tengas a Messi.
Yeah, and then you can just dribble through everybody.
Right.
Exactly. Now, Austin FC 2, have you had a chance to look at the game?
I saw the very first game of Austin FC 2.
¿Qué tal?
I wish there was more kids on the field.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole league is, hopefully, they said it was like the bridge between the kids that needed more time and the ones that were almost going to make the pro team but couldn't make it. I would have more younger kids there.
Yeah.
Like age level, for example?
Like 15, 16-year-olds. Like, if you lose the game, okay, you lose the game, no matter. Like, okay, but hopefully that 15 and 16-year-old are getting experience against older players, and then in a year, they're ready to make the jump to the first team. Because it is a big jump to be a 15, 16, 17-year-old and then play against full-grown men. It's a big jump. But if you don't even have them out there, I can't say. I can only say for the first game. I don't know if they've started playing more younger players or not, but I thought that's what the league was for, to have like a teams of mixed ages where you had younger kids alongside some older kids playing against younger kids alongside older kids, and you were getting them ready to play for the first team. Because nobody, at the end of the day, I might be wrong, but I don't think they care too much about the second league. It's more about
making it to
the first team.
Well, it's yes, I get what you're saying, but it's like intertwined. So you have obviously the first team, you have the second team, then you have the academy, then you have the U15, then you have the U whatever, and then I think they have like 3 other U's. So it's like they're keeping at where they think the certain level is, where I think you beg to differ and you think that there should be more younger kids playing with the older kids.
Well, I think if you're
that good,
it saves you money,
right?
Not having to buy players. If you can make your own players, then FC Dallas, all those guys a lot of them are from the Fuerzas Básicas.
Yeah,
they've came up, and some are on the team, and some got sold for a whole bunch of money. So I think it's just having a clear conversation. And what is their goal? Is their goal to be the champion at Austin FC 2? Or is it, can we get 3 players to move up from the academy to the first team and then not have to buy 3 players? And then hopefully they're from Austin, or hopefully it's close to Austin, and you're representing now Austin and you're doing a great job for Austin. So that's what I would
That's what you would do. Yeah.
That's what I would do. I don't know. I'm not in that position, but in other countries, if they're like, okay, this 15-year-old, he's 15, but he's got great qualities. How can we give him opportunities to play up and not just with the 15-year-olds?
Yeah. It's interesting. I mean, Carlos Vela's nephew plays here. And then there's another kid that I really like the way he played is David Rodriguez. I think he's like 20, but he just knows how to move the ball inside. He's like so good with the ball. I'm like, I think he should be with the first team. He could be a striker. He can move inside where right now that's, in my opinion, no les está faltando. No hay nadie que esté adentro en el área. So I think he would be great. But I'm not the coach.
Yeah. No.
and I mean, and that's just my opinion. But I see where you're coming from.
Yeah. I think one thing that I have for me is looking at like the draft. You have players that play college, but tienen una formación semi-profesional de un equipo en exactitud. You really don't have it. And I feel like this league can be good for the draft players to come in and assimilate to what the MLS is going to be like. You don't have to be jumping in right away, 1 year, 2 years max. Y si no lo hiciste, pues ni modo. But, Kip Keller, for example, I feel like the MLS Pro next team somehow saved his career because he's playing constantly. Se ve como que está trabajando en cosas que le faltaba trabajar. Asensio, he's getting way more playing time now. You can actually see if he knows how he can play soccer or not, And I think having this league for those guys that, because the draft, it can bring some pressure because especially if you're the first round pick or the 4th round pick, but if you don't make it, is that, transition going to be working out? But I believe this draft should be going to the MLS Pro and then go to the first team ya cuando están probados.
I agree with both of you.
Yeah.
It's just,
I mean,
it's a combination of everything.
Yeah.
It's for guys that potentially are good at 20-year-olds. Can they score there? And will they get the opportunity? I don't know. For guys in college that are coming that maybe aren't ready, will they be ready? I don't know, but let's stick them here for 2 years. And then you mix those guys in with kids that are, I don't know, joyas in Austin FC and give them opportunities to play together on one team.
I just feel like sometimes it could be a little premature. Like, for example, Strout, he went to USL and then, now he's having the best time of his life. So I think it could be a little bit premature, though. I think, with everything, you have to make sure that you're making the right decision. Kip Keller, I think it was premature, but that's just my opinion. That's it. And that's it.
That's it. Hopefully,
you got to boost confidence, and I think Amro Tarek is going to be in the same situation. He's going to go to the second team. So I don't know. It's interesting how this is working. But it didn't work like that back in the day. You got cut. No, I'm just kidding. No, but no, it's good to hear from you and kind of learn and see a different point of view from a non-biased how you see soccer.
Anytime.
Thank you.
Thank you, man. It's an honor to have you here once again. I'm saying it. One more last question. What's next for Sonny in the future? Because I know you have a lot going on, like with your Roots SGA and Soccer Analyst.
Going on. What's your day-to-day like? What time do you wake up? At 7?
Too early.
Yeah.
And go to sleep too late.
Yeah.
Nice.
There's a price to pay for everything.
Yeah.
Some people aren't willing to pay for it.
Yeah.
But I don't know any other life, so.
Y él está hablando a la gente. Ya, córtalos.
No, my phone's rings nonstop. Goal that I have would be to broadcast the World Cup.
That would be awesome.
I don't know. Get in for free and watch games.
Mm-hmm.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
For my school to grow, hopefully to change the perception, the landscape of what people consider the norm for youth soccer, and more people to be open to education and soccer, and keep smiling and playing and hopefully influencing people.
Indeed you are, sir. Indeed you are.
Where can people find anything if they want to learn about what you do, not in the broadcast side of things, because obviously they could tune into Apple TV. But about, wanting to get more involved in soccer, maybe even volunteer, maybe become coaches. I don't know. I don't know if you're hiring, or is it volunteer basis?
We are not hiring, and I wish we had more volunteers, but no, we pay our coaches. They can just hit me up on Instagram.
Hit him up on Instagram. It's Sonny.
Just Sonny Guadarrama.
Ah.
Together. It's a hard last name to spell, but you just start typing G-U-A and hopefully it pops up. There's not a lot of Guadarramas.
Yeah.
Just to make sure, Sonny with 2 or 1 N's?
2 N's. S-O-N-N-Y.
¿Y tu hermano cómo está before we leave?
Which one?
Your older brother that you played with.
Oh, he's doing good.
Yeah.
I've got 2 older brothers. That's why.
Shit. I don't want to botch their name. So I don't want to say. How are they? How's your family?
They're doing good.
Yeah.
My nieces.
She's growing, I see.
They're growing and they play at Roots. So that's exciting. My parents, I think my dad was always hard on us. I think he enjoyed watching us play, but never got to enjoy it. So now with my nieces, he gets to enjoy watching them play.
It's not a full-time job.
So he takes them to training. Everyone goes to the games, but he's always there to take them to training. And he's way more supportive of them than he was of us. Like, oh, you're doing a great job. And I'm like, great job. She's over there doing cartwheels.
Yeah.
Awesome job today at training. You gave it 100%. She's just doing cartwheels the whole training facility, just back and forth.
It's because that's how it happens in the Hispanic families. They get criticized, nicer. And then, the little ones get, tú puedes, you want ice cream. Life is
You just have a snack. Come here.
Exactly.
A bag full of snacks. Nosotros puros problemas.
Yeah, well, good to know. Glad to know that your personal life is thriving. Love it. Ahí me saludas a la familia. A tus hermanos también, saludos.
Todos. La familia Guadarrama.
That's right.
All right, thanks, Sonny. Appreciate you.
Thank you so much for having me.
No, it's been great. And just before we leave, it's a mental health awareness month. At the end of the day, take care of psyche. Do what you got to do to take care of it. It's important, whether it's going on the walk, something fun, whatever it is, as long as it's legal and it would not get you in trouble, do it.
That's the way to go. That's what Sonny would do. So anytime you doubt yourself, what would Sonny do?
Go for a run.
Go for a run.
Probably.
I have a thought. It says in Sonny I trust, because every time I have a question about football, I just text him.
Oh yeah.
Me calma. Like, okay, we're gonna be okay.
I don't know about that one, but
okay.
I will answer your texts. And hopefully they give you some kind of assurance.
Yeah.
It brought some peace to my life.
Peace. That's right.
Yeah.
Awesome.
But all the gray hairs went to you, like for me, it went to you. So, I'm sorry about that.
I got to shave, so you can't see him.
It's all good.
You'll
get camera ready Friday.
That's right.
Yeah, so
I'll be ready for the weekend.
Fine.
Se cuidan, se portan bien. Adiós y arriba la América.